This is going to be the first installment of Thoughts from the Tree Stand. As of right now, the only place you're going to be able to listen or watch this is here on my YouTube platform at Jared Murphy Outdoors. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and share it with as many people as you can. It helps us stay out here trying to give y'all some good content. I know it's not the best in the world because I don't have great equipment yet. We're slowly working on it and getting there. For you guys that have been with me for a while, you don't know how thankful I am for you. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. It really means the world to me. There's kind of a topic I want to talk about, and it's kind of controversial. And if you hear the wind, I'm sorry. It just all of a sudden got windy on me. It is baiting deer or attracting deer. We do get a lot of interesting comments. A lot of it has to deal with because of the fact that we do a lot of testing reviews, and people just automatically assume that that's how you hunt. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You know, it's a free country. You're allowed to think whatever you want to think. But here's my gripe with all of it. There's too much bickering in the hunting industry or fishing industry, mostly the hunting industry. Hunting industry seems to be the worst. I'll give you an example. I'd heard since the time I was a little boy that peanut butter attracted deer. I had never used it, had never tried it. It was totally way off in left field for me to do. But I got curious. I was in a local outdoor shop. I kept hearing these guys talking about it, and I'm like, I'm going to try it and see if it really works. And I basically put a peanut butter jar on a tree and I set a trail camera on it. I didn't hunt over it. I'm not that dumb. I would never just go put a peanut butter jar on a tree and then sit over top of it hoping a deer would come in. I was curious if they would eat it. That's the only thing but people took it literal like I was hunting over it, like I had put up 3 or 4 tree stands to watch this peanut butter jar to hope a deer come in. No, it was curiosity. Would they eat it? The trail camera did all the hunting. I didn't hunt over it none. I actually did 2 tests on it. I did one when the acorns were falling, and I did one in late winter when there was nothing. And I will have to say, if you've not watched either of those 2 videos, go check them out because they're actually pretty cool. Had the peanut butter, worked like I thought it would. So would I put it out while I'm hunting? Maybe. In any of my videos that you see a test and review, I always pick a spot where deer are using. It's my opinion. I could be wrong. You are not going to go sit out a 50-pound bag of corn and deer are just going to magically show up. If you put that corn out in an area where there are no deer, they're not present, they're not coming. That's just my opinion. I get all kinds of comments like, you know, you're not a real hunter, you're not good at this, you're not good at that. That's fine, that's your opinion, you're entitled to it. I don't know. There's people on one end of the spectrum that just think that you're the lowest of lows if you use a bait or an attractant or corn or anything like that. You have the other side that is, it's the only way they're going to hunt is if they can put out some sort of attractant. And then you have people like me that I'm in the middle. If I don't have to use it, I won't. Because it's just more stuff I got to carry into the woods and deal with. But if I need it, I'll use it. Let me clarify this too. If it is legal in your state to do, then by all means, use it. It's legal. You're doing nothing wrong. Like here in my state, Kentucky, private property, you're good to go. Public land, you're not good to go. Don't do it. You'll get in trouble. It's against the law. As long as your state allows it, more power to you. Now here's going to be my rant about all that, okay? You'll have some of these people that will bash you for using attractants, but yet they go out and plant food plots. They'll plant an acre or 2 of corn or soybean. That food plot, soybean and corn, naturally wouldn't be in that spot had you not put it there. Are you not baiting deer? Food for thought. Is that not baiting deer? You're putting in agriculture in an area that naturally it don't grow. And you're putting it there for the sole purpose of deer hunting. Is that not considered baiting and attracting? If I put a food plot out, I'm not putting it out to think, oh God, I wonder how pretty that's going to be. Well, I gotta go mow my food plot today. It's getting a little too high. It ain't looking good. No, you're putting a spot out to hopefully attract a deer. It's no different than going to Tractor Supply or your local feed store and getting something and setting it out. In my opinion, it's the same thing. How about in the rut? If you use doe estrus, buck urine, orbital glands, tarsal glands, anything like that, anything that has to do with smell for the rut, you're using the deer sense of smell to attract them in. It's an attractant. You get those comments that you don't know how to find deer if you have to do that. Okay, well, you don't know how to find deer if you have to use the lure to try to bring in a big buck. How come you're not zeroed in on his location? Why are you trying to use his nose to bring him on in a little closer? It's an attractant. You're baiting him with the smell of a doe. Take it a step further. Sound, his ears. If you use rattling antlers or the bags or whatever, or deer grunt, you're trying to fool a deer's ears into thinking that there's another deer in that area, or that there's two deer in that area fighting over a doe. You're trying to bait that deer in with sound. It's an attractant. It is what it is. Instead of using food, you're trying to either attract that deer in with his nose or attract him in with sound. It's still an attractant. Now granted, the food is probably going to work better than the other two. Here in Kentucky, there are places where rattling works. I have never, in southeast Kentucky, I've never rattled in a deer. Never. I've been hunting since I was 15 years old. I'm now 40. I've never rattled in a buck. And I try it every year. Now, I have grunted one in. I have used a doe bleat and got one to come in, but never with rattling. Now, if you go to Texas, on the other hand, there's places in Texas where it's magical. You just touch some rattling antlers and they'll come running, like droves of them. It's an attractant. You're using it. It is what it is. Let's go to this spectrum too. And I made a video on this. Like my buddy Thomas. He has a piece of property that's basically a field. He has a CRP field beside him and hardwoods behind him. He can't get permission to hunt those two areas because it's leased out to somebody to hunt. He's tried. And hunting has kind of gotten so popular now, especially here, that a lot of farms that we used to be able to hunt, we can't hunt because it was an older generation that owned it and they passed away. Now their children have it or they lease it out to somebody. And that it is getting harder in that aspect to get properties to hunt. So sometimes when you're limited to where you can hunt, like in Thomas's case, he has to put out corn and attractants to get deer to come in on his property where he can harvest one. Now, our state, it's legal to do it. I went out there, helped him. We put out corn, buck bourbon, put a mock scrape. We did everything. He was successful. Now, the reason he's successful is there's deer in the area. They weren't that far away. They could smell it. If you're a hunter that don't have a lot of ground to hunt, sometimes you have to do what you got to do. I understand that. But as long as it's legal, there's nothing wrong with it. All right? Now let's go to this aspect. What if you're a hunter that maybe only got a couple weekends out of the hunting season to hunt, and you want to maximize the most of your time? What's the best way to do that? Try to attract them in. If it's legal in your state, do it. Now I'm going to jump over here to this extreme. If it is not legal in your state and you do it anyway, you're breaking the law. You're hunting unethically. So if somebody's hunting unethically, it's not legal where they live, and they do it anyway, then they're the ones that have to live with that, and if they get caught, pay the consequences of that. Just my thoughts on it, all right? So anyways, guys, that's going to be it on this video. I just wanted to rant a little bit, and it was just some thoughts I've had. We got to quit bashing each other. Not everybody has the same ideas. Not everybody has equal properties to hunt. Guys, let's just try to treat each other better. Like from the Sermon on the Mount, don't worry about the speck in your brother's eye when you have a log in your own. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this one. This is the first installment of Thoughts from the Tree Stand. We're going to be bringing more of them to you. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. And if you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Share it with everybody that you can. Leave us some comments down below. Let us know about some topics you may want to hear about, and we'll see what we can't do. Well, until the next time, we will see you all on down the road.